Shalom. Sorry about the wet hair. I just got back from the river and my hair is soaking wet. So anyway, I wanted to share a message from Thessalonians, or you can say Taslonikim, or Taslonikim in Hebrew. So I'll start with chapter 1, verses 1 through around 12, and then chapter 2 all the way down to about 10. So it says Shaul and Silas and Timotheus. So that's Paul, Silas, and Timothy in English. To the assembly of the Thessalonians in Yahuwah our Father. Now you might wonder who Yahuwah is if you've never heard that before. Yahuwah is the true name of the Father up above. You can find this in the preface of most versions of the word. And it'll be capital Y, capital H, capital W, capital H. It's pronounced Yahuwah. Our Father and Master Yahusha. Now you might wonder who is Yahusha if you never heard that name before. The letter J is only about 500 years old, so the true name of the Messiah is Yahusha. And then it says, our Father and the Master Yahusha HaMashiach. That's also a Hebrew word. It means Messiah. Favor to you and peace from Yahuwah our Father and the Master Yahusha HaMashiach. We ought to give thanks to Elohim always for you, brothers, as it is proper, because your belief grows exceedingly, and the love every one of you has for each other is increasing, so that we ourselves boast of you among the assemblies of Elohim, for your endurance and belief in all the persecutions and afflictions which you are bearing, clear evidence of the righteous judgment of Elohim, in order for you to be counted worthy of the reign of Elohim, for which you'll also suffer. So when we accept Yahusha, the Messiah, into our life, and we're sincere, we are saved, period. It says, for by favor are you saved through faith, and this not of yourself. It is a gift of Elohim, lest any man should boast, in Ephesians 2, 8, and 9. But the problem with a lot of Christian churches is that they do not tell you that you should obey. In fact, the word says, if ye love me, keep my commandments. That was Yahusha speaking. So it is very important that we obey. And as it says here in verse 5, clear evidence of the righteous judgment of Elohim, in order for you to be counted worthy of the reign of Elohim, for which you also suffer. So do you think having lip service would suffice? No, it wouldn't. We will have to go on to obedience to Yahusha and Yahuwah. Since Elohim shall rightly repay with affliction those who afflict you, and to give you who are afflicted rest with us, when the Master Yahusha is revealed from the Shemayim. That's a Hebrew word, and it's talking about heaven. It says revealed from Shemayim with his mighty messengers. So many say angels, but the correct term would be to use the word messengers. That's what it uses in the HalleluYah Scriptures, so that's what I use rather than saying angels. So anyway, he is going to be revealed from the Shemayim. See, there's a whole teaching out there now that says that he's not going to be revealed from on high. And so you have to be careful with people and their thoughts and their ideas, because we want to go with what the Word says. Verse 8, in flaming fire, taking vengeance on all those who do not know Elohim, and on those who do not obey the good news of our Master Yahusha HaMashiach. It's talking about the Messiah right there and obeying him. So it's really important that we obey him and that we know Elohim. It says the vengeance that the Almighty One will take on people, on those who do not know Elohim. I studied that word out one time, and it's talking about abiding with him. And to abide with someone, you're attached to them, basically. It's like a tree, and how the branch is attached to the tree. You can't really separate it because it's attached. And that's how we need to be with Elohim and Yahusha. And on those who do not obey the good news of our Master Yahusha HaMashiach. So we need to obey the good news of our Master Yahusha. We must obey. See, many people nowadays, they don't think you have to obey. They just think they could pray a prayer one day, like they pray a prayer and they say, oh, come into my life, but they aren't really sincere. And how sad is that at the end of their life, when they stand before the Almighty One and they find out that you can't just have lip service. You have to obey the good news. So you should read the word, which is the good news, so that we know how to obey him. Verse 9, who shall be punished with everlasting destruction? So that was everlasting destruction for those who do not obey the good news and do not know Elohim. How sad would that be, to have everlasting destruction? And there's a whole teaching out there that also is misinformation and is wicked, really, to preach against what the word says. There's a whole doctrine out there that says that you are dead and that's it once you're dead. And that's really dangerous, because that's a rude awakening for those who lived without Elohim. Elohim means sovereign or almighty one. Okay, so for those who did not obey Yahusha and follow him, everlasting destruction. What a rude awakening if they, were preached in their congregation that it's okay just to say a prayer and that's it. You can still smoke your weed and you can still... No, we can't smoke our weed. We can't fornicate. We can't gossip. We can't slander people. We can't be out there cheating on our spouse. We can't be lying and stealing and breaking the 10 Commandments. We need to honor our father and mother. We need to use his name. If you study out the 10 Commandments, especially the one that says, do not take the Elohim's name in vain. You study that word out, it means do not bring it to ruin. So don't stop using his name. And we'll find that also later on in this study. Okay, reading on verse 9 again. Who shall be punished with everlasting destruction from the presence of the master and from the esteem of his strength, when he comes to be esteemed in his kodishim, that's talking about pure, and to be set apart, and to be admired among all those who believe in that day, because our witness to you was believed. So we not only have to believe on Yahusha, we have to obey Yahusha Messiah. Okay? He's coming back again. He's coming back pure, as he always has been. He's never sinned. And we will admire him because we love him. We will adore him and cherish him. He's coming back, and he will be admired among all those who believe and follow him. Okay? So verse 11, to this end we always pray for you, that our Elohim would count you worthy of this calling and complete all the good pleasure of goodness and the work of belief with power. So we want to be counted worthy. Now, you might ask yourself, well, how can I know if I'm counted worthy? But what you can ask yourself is, are you praising him? Do you pray each day? Do you love him? Do you think about him? Do you just babble a prayer over your food real fast, or do you actually pray to him each day? Pray for people that need help or are unsaved and need to come to him, or people who don't know the names. You can pray that they'll learn his true names, because we'll find out in the next verse how important it is to know the name. Okay, so verse 12, so that the name of our Master Yahusha HaMashiach, that means Yahusha Messiah, is esteemed in you. So the reason why we need to preach his name or teach his name or share his name, whatever you want to call it, I call it sharing his name. I don't call myself a teacher. I just call myself an awakener. I'm awakening people to truth, hopefully. Okay, so what we want to do is make sure that we know his name, Yahuwah and Yahusha, and that it is esteemed, that we are praising his name and praising him. Okay, and we need to share it with others. And you and him, according to the favor of our Elohim and the Master Yahushua HaMashiach, as to the coming of our Master Yahushua HaMashiach, and our gathering together to him, as we ask you, brothers, not to become easily unsettled in mind or troubled, either by spirit or by word or by letter, if from us, as if the day of Yahuwah has come. So we know that the day of Yahuwah has not come yet. Let no one deceive you in any way, because the falling away is to come first, and the man of lawlessness is to be revealed, the son of destruction. So we're going to have the son of destruction, or the man of lawlessness, revealed, and then we know that it's very, very, very soon for the end, for the revealing of Messiah, coming from Shemayim. That would be the Hebrew for heaven. Verse 4, who opposes and exalts himself above all that is called Elohim. This is talking about the son of destruction. He's exalting himself, okay? Or that is worshipped, so that he sits as Elohim in the Mishkan of Elohim, showing himself that he is Elohim. So he is going to set himself up in the temple that will be rebuilt, and he is going to claim to be the Almighty. Okay, do you not remember that I told you this while I was still with you? And now you know that what restrains for him to be revealed in his time. It says, and now you know what restrains for him to be revealed in his time. That was verse 6. Now 7. For the secret of lawlessness is already at work, only until he who now restrains comes out of the midst. So we see a lot of lawlessness now, and we shouldn't have that amongst the believers. Lawlessness is people who want to do wicked, people who want to not obey the Ten Commandments, people who don't want to really read the Word or pray or get to know the Father or praise Him. And then the lawless one shall be revealed, whom the Master shall consume with the ruach of his mouth. That's the spirit of his mouth. That word ruach is spirit. Okay? And bring to naught with the manifestation of his coming. The coming is against the working of Satan. So what's going to happen is, after the lawless one is revealed, and all the people of lawlessness are going about their business, they will actually be overcome by the Spirit of Yah. Okay? And so he is going to consume them. Okay? So remember what we learned about everlasting destruction? Yeah, that's their outcome. Okay, so thank you for listening. Shalom.